Hey again, everybody, and welcome to what I think is the final discussion video of the Summer Games Fest week. So, you should be watching this, if you're watching it on upload date, on June 10th. So it should be June 10th. And yesterday, or today for me, was the Nintendo Direct. So I'm recording this at 12:48 in the morning. So just past midnight. So technically it was yesterday, but basically today was the Nintendo Direct, which also sort of closed out all of the big name announcements for Summer Game Fest. And I want to just dive right into some of the things that were announced, because believe me, there was some pretty cool stuff, just like the past two videos I did. So I'm not going to cover everything. I'm going to cover a lot of the highlights, just a lot of the stuff that I personally am excited for, and I'll just kind of scroll through. I have a list here of every announcement. So Nintendo started off the show with Rhythm Heaven Groove. So kind of honestly a Nintendo way to start off the show with a game that we've already known about for like the past year or so. But I'm glad they got that out of the way first. Honestly, I didn't think it needed a slot there. We already have a release date. We already have seen quite a bit of the game. But I'm excited for it, so I wasn't like against the idea. I just got to see, we got to see more gameplay of it, really. Although I didn't need more convincing, I already was planning on picking this up next month. So that's how they started the show, just with something that we already knew about, and they got that out of the way for all of the other announcements. After that, we got a couple of ports, I believe. So they showed off Onimusha, Way of the Sword, which I believe is a game that is already out, but not on the Switch 2, so that's coming to the Switch 2. They announced Dragon's Dogma 2 for the Switch 2, and a Stellar Blade port. And then they showed off Orbitals again, which is that It Takes Two kind of anime-styled game. They showed off Rayman Legends again. They showed off a... I'm just speeding through these because these are all kind of minor announcements. They showed off a One Piece game. After that, the first big thing that we saw, actually, was they announced a free update and DLC for Pokopia. So the free update adds Dive, which lets you go underwater. And then the free update is adding new content. So the free update is, the DLC, the paid DLC is adding new content. So it's an expansion pass, or you could buy them separately, but there's also an expansion pass. I think they said they're going to be like 5 or 4 or 5 or 6, something like that, DLCs. And the first one is adding, I think they mentioned certain Pokemon and an underwater town to explore and restore. So that was pretty cool to see that they're still supporting, this game that's been out for a few months now. It's just, they're gonna keep giving us content for it. That's nice. After that was the first big sort of... It's not a new game in the sense that we didn't know about it, but we got a date for the next Fire Emblem game. That's coming out September 17th. Personally, I'm not a huge Fire Emblem fan. I played a few of the games. I never finished any of them, but I played quite a bit of some of them, and they're not for me, but I understand why people like them. So it was cool that finally got a release date. They showed off Deltarune Chapter 5, which I believe was rumored, actually. And it's cool, again, like I mentioned in the Xbox discussion video, and like I mentioned in the, I believe, Summer Games Fest video, I also mentioned this. It's cool to see indie developers getting the spotlight at events like these. Obviously, Toby Fox is very well known at this point, but it's still cool seeing a game like Deltarune get a slot in a Nintendo Direct, and it's not the first time either, so it's cool to see that. That being said, I still have to play Part 3 and 4, but I'll get on that at some point. They also announced a Donkey Kong Bonanza DLC, which I wasn't super paying attention to. I was in a call with friends. I'm not entirely sure what it added. It added like an outfit It added like a Mario collaboration. I don't know if it was just the outfit, but they also announced, strangely, a Donkey Kong, like an achievement system for Nintendo Switch Online, but it's limited. So there are like achievements that you can go for across Donkey Kong games on the Nintendo Switch, and you can unlock cards for your Nintendo Switch Online app, I believe, and it's running from, I think, as of right now to sometime in September. I'm not sure why Nintendo is doing it this way. So this is a very Nintendo thing to do. People have been wanting achievements for a while. I know some people don't. I was in the sort of category of I do want achievements on Nintendo consoles. I always have fun going for them. If I like a game enough, I'll go for the achievements. And there are a lot of Nintendo games that I think it would be really cool to just unlock achievements to display on my profile, but I don't even know if you can show these to other people. And it's limited time, so it's Nintendo adding a feature that people have been requesting for in a very Nintendo way. Who knows? Maybe they're like testing the waters for achievements in other games system-wide. One can only hope, but I'm not entirely sure. I'll still check it out because it's interesting. I wish that they implemented it in a different way, because it would have been cool to have, an actual achievement system, even if it was just for Nintendo classic titles. There were a couple of smaller games after that, nothing that was super major. More ports. They talked about stuff like Lords of the Fallen, Lies of P. For some reason, Devil May Cry 5 is getting a Switch 2 port, which I guess is nice. I played that game, about 6 years ago at this point. But it's nice to see that the 5th game is going to be available on the Switch when all the other ones, as far as I know, all the other ones are on the Switch already. But now I'm going to start getting into, one announcement that I'm really excited for. So back in, I think it was 2024, the creators of Untitled Goose Game, House, announced a new title called Big Walk. And if you've been following the game like I have been, you know why I'm excited for this game. They showed off gameplay, they announced it, I forget where it was, and I saw it, and I thought it looked really cool, and so I reached out to some of my friends that I usually play these types of games with, and I got them following it as well, and we've just been waiting for a release date. Originally, it was going to release last summer, I believe, and then they delayed it to sometime this year. And 6 months into the year, I was kind of worried it was going to get another delay, but they surprisingly had a trailer at today's Nintendo Direct, which I wasn't expecting. So they announced that the game is coming to Switch 2, as well as PlayStation 5, which we already knew about, and Steam, which we knew about. And they also dropped the release date, August 4th. So this is a game I'm actually really excited to finally get to play with a group of friends of mine, because it looks like a lot of fun. It just looks like a fun, chilled out game that you can just kind of screw around in with friends, or just kind of explore, solve the puzzles that are around there. It seems like a very open-ended, fun game, so I'm glad that we finally got a date for that. After that was, honestly, I'm not gonna lie, stuff that I'm not super excited for. Nothing I've ever really played. So they announced Switch 2 editions of all the other Xenoblade games, the 3 Xenoblade Chronicles games, which, I'm happy for the people who like those games. I have a friend who really likes those games, so it's nice that they are updating those games for the Switch 2, because I imagine they run much better now. They also, immediately after that, announced a brand new Xenoblade game, Xenoblade Genesis. So again, nothing I'm super excited for, but it's a new game in the series, so that's, I'd say, a pretty big deal. Moving on from that, they announced a new Switch Sports game, Switch Sports Resort, so they're following the naming scheme of Wii Sports. And honestly, this game, I'm very mixed on. So it's nice that the sports series still exists nowadays, but I wish that they went with the Miis this time around. They brought them back for Tomodachi Life. They're not really trying to shy away from them anymore. So I'm not sure why they sidelined them again in this game, unless this game has been in development for a while before they, went all out with the Miis again in Tomodachi Life. I'm not entirely sure. It's kind of weird. I feel like a lot of the charm from Wii Sports, or the sports games, came from the fact that you have your Miis there. That being said, a lot of the games look... I mean, I feel like some of them are the same from the last game. They added a few new games. The elephant in the room that I have to address is, for some reason, they decided to spend a good... I don't even remember how many minutes it was. It was kind of a long time. And they just showed Koizumi thumb wrestling a computer opponent in this game. And we got some pretty interesting gifs out of it as well. The camera placement was certainly a choice. But yeah, I'm not entirely sure why they felt the need to spend so much time on thumb wrestling, but it gave us a funny video, I guess. But I don't know if I can really say I'm gonna pick this game up. I played the first Switch Sports game, and it was okay. I don't think I played it for more than like a day or two, though. For me, if I'm gonna play a sports game, I mean, I have my Wii plugged in still. I'll probably just play Wii Sports or Wii Sports Resort. But it's nice that they're still keeping the IP alive, I guess. I just wish that they had more of an emphasis on the Miis in this game. After that, they announced that Star Fox got a free demo, which I did try, and it's actually pretty fun. I mean, it's Star Fox gameplay. It doesn't change the fact that it's just another retelling of the same game, but it's very polished. It's, in Nintendo fashion, it's pretty well done, and I don't doubt that it's going to be a good game. It's not something I think I'm going to be picking up this month, but I'll probably pick it up eventually, because I do like Star Fox. I like the gameplay, I like the franchise, so eventually I'll probably pick it up, just not day one, only because it's really the same game again. After that, they announced a new Final Fantasy spin-off, which I honestly couldn't really tell what it was, but it's another HD 2D game. I'm not going to really linger on that because it wasn't a huge announcement. They showed off the Duskbloods after that again, and surprisingly, we still got no release date or gameplay, which is strange because they mentioned that it's still launching this year, and really all we got was a new trailer, and they announced that they're going to have a closed network test this summer. So, I mean, I'll definitely try that out. I'm interested in the game. I just wish that they showed us more, especially after a year, pretty much, of knowing this game exists, and the fact that it's coming out this year. It would have been nice to see a little bit more of this game, but at least they had something for it. They had a few other announcements. They had a Dragon Quest Monsters announcement. They showed off Splatoon again. They showed off a Switch 2 version of Minecraft. They showed off another Warhammer game. And then after that was a pretty cool announcement. We're getting to the end and the really big announcements. So, not so big of an announcement, but if you've been following Nintendo news or like Kingdom Hearts news somewhat recently, you would have seen that maybe a week or two ago, they delisted the demos for the cloud versions of the Kingdom Hearts games on the Switch. And so, obviously, this led people to believe, I mean, I guess one of two things. Some people probably thought that maybe the games were just getting pulled altogether. But other people thought, and this is what I was thinking, that they were getting ready to publish native ports of the game to the Switch 2, because we have a console that can handle 3 now. I'm still not sure why 1 was never a native port, but that's besides the point. And so anyway, that's what people were thinking, and today in the Direct they did confirm that the complete Kingdom Hearts collection is coming to the Switch 2. They gave us a date of October 8th, and they put out a brand new demo for Kingdom Hearts 3. and you can play it natively on your Switch 2 now, which is really cool. I am definitely going to be tempted to pick this one up, but I've played through all of these games on my PlayStation, and I'm just so used to playing them on a PlayStation that I'm not sure if I have a reason to get them on the Switch, but I might, because I mean, if you know me, I'm a huge Kingdom Hearts fan, so it's nice to see these games getting native ports on the Switch 2. After that was honestly the biggest announcement for me, and the biggest reaction I got out of this Direct today. I was not expecting this at a Nintendo Direct at all, but it happened somehow, and I'm just gonna get right into it because I'm gonna play the trailer here. But yeah, they showed off Kingdom Hearts 4 years later at a Nintendo Direct. They didn't show it off at Summer Games Fest. They didn't show it off at the PlayStation State of Play. They didn't even show it off at the Xbox thing, which I mean, that makes sense because it was never like an Xbox franchise. But if anything, I would have thought it would have been at the PlayStation show or the Summer Games Fest main show, because that's a huge thing to show off. You can tell I'm getting excited now just talking about this. To just kind of temper expectations, if you're watching this video and you didn't see the Direct, no, they still didn't give us a release date, they still didn't give us a release year, but we got our first new look at the game since March of 2022, and it looks so good. I could do a whole separate video analyzing it, but I'm not gonna, just because I would take so much time analyzing this trailer. But they showed off Sora again in what seems to be Shibuya, or the other world, and we got to see new gameplay. We got to see a couple characters. We saw Luke Sword. We saw, most interesting to me, what seemed to be young Xehanort again. And I really want to know how he's there and why he's there. That's something I'm very interested in. There were a couple of games that people kind of checked the voice act, or rather, there were a couple of characters that people checked the voice actors from the trailer, and they saw that they lined up with characters they've played in really the movie that is based on the mobile games, and so we got, I guess, basically confirmation of some of those characters as well. And yeah, I mean, I'm still just talking about it and just thinking about it, I'm still so shocked and just so excited that we finally got to see something from this game for the first time in 4 years. And out of everywhere it could have been showed, I would have never expected a Nintendo Direct. That being said, I didn't even mention the fact why it's here. They announced that it's releasing on the same day on the Switch 2, so you're not going to have to wait. If you want to play this game and you want to play it on the Switch, you don't have to wait a couple of months like certain games. It's supposed to be out on launch day on the Switch 2 and the PlayStation, and I imagine probably the Series X and maybe PC, but that's really exciting and really cool to kind of learn about. It was such a shocking moment because they showed off the Kingdom Hearts collection, and I was in a call with my friends, and I was like, oh, that's really cool. And then towards the end, I was like, now, guys, they're going to show Kingdom Hearts 4. They're going to give us a date. It's going to happen. And obviously, I didn't think they were actually going to show Kingdom Hearts 4. I was just being stupid. I mean, obviously, we didn't get a date, but I wasn't expecting to see the trailer there. I really wasn't. So that was my highlight of the show. That'll keep me held over for another however much longer. Apparently, according to a Wario64 tweet, actually, I could put it on the screen right now, some Australian retailers wrote in their description for the 1 through 3 collection that Kingdom Hearts 4 releases next year. I'm not sure how accurate that is, but they wrote, play through the full Kingdom Hearts series in one comprehensive package before the release of Kingdom Hearts 4 in 2027. And that was JB Hi-Fi and EB Games. So that's something that I imagine was sent out to these retailers to put in the descriptions of these listings. So if we're really getting Kingdom Hearts 4 next year, I'll be so happy. So many people will be so happy. This is turning into a Kingdom Hearts rambling thing, though, so I'm gonna move on from that to the final announcement and to what is, I mean, honestly, is out of everything the biggest announcement for a Nintendo Direct. If you've been following the rumors or the leak, any of the leaks at all, you'll probably have already known this was coming. I did, but it was still really exciting to see. We got the teaser trailer for the Ocarina of Time remake. So the second remake of this game so far, but it looks drastically different. We didn't get any gameplay. We didn't get any sort of like real look at the game. We got like a cinematic teaser, really. And they did confirm that it's out this year. So honestly, I kind of wish we saw a little bit more of the game, considering it's out, within the next 6 months. But it's cool to see it was confirmed. And yeah, we got a little cinematic teaser of the game. Basically just Link sleeping in his little house from the beginning of the game. And that was it, with a little voiceover over it. But from the tone of it, it seems like they're doing, I imagine it's going to be more of a retelling than another straight remake. I mean, we already have the 3DS remake, and I wouldn't be surprised if they're taking some inspiration from what Square is doing with Final Fantasy. Obviously not on that scale, because I don't think they're going to split Ocarina of Time into 3 games, but I think they're taking more creative liberties and kind of changing some things up a bit. And I also wouldn't be surprised if part 2, saying that with like air quotes, of this sort of remake thing was just Majora's Mask. I could see them remaking that game next if this does well, which I'm sure it will. But yeah, I mean, I'm a little disappointed we only got a cinematic teaser. If the game wasn't out for like another year, I'd understand it, but it's heavily rumored to be the holiday game for this year. So I would have hoped we could have seen a little more, but I imagine that'll come in due time over the next few months. And so, I mean, that's it. That was the Nintendo Direct today. And like I said, that closes out Summer Games Fest week, basically. All of the big announcements, or all of the big shows, really. So it's been an exciting week, really. I mean, the State of Play, again, I didn't cover it from last week, but everything else was very, very exciting, and a lot of cool things are coming out. So that's going to wrap up these little discussion videos as well. So a lot of cool stuff today, a lot of cool stuff I'm excited for, and there's a lot coming out. I mean, the next few months to next year are stacked. So we got a lot of games that we're going to get to play. It's very exciting. But that's going to do it for me. So, as always, hope you're having a good morning, afternoon, evening, night, whenever you're watching this video. Hope you are doing well. And take care of yourselves. And I will see you all in the next video. Later.